Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It is Championship Sunday here live from Dallas, Texas. We are going into our second winner's bracket semifinal match. It's North America with OpTic Gaming taking on Europe's best in Splyce.
And Splyce has looked so good. They've been dominant all weekend long, but you're going up against OpTic Gaming. Chris, have you ever played like World of Warcraft or any fantasy type games?
For an hour and a half, yes I have.
Have you heard of the mythical creature, the Chimera? It has 3 heads. It's part dragon, part snake, part griffin. That is what OpTic Gaming is, but with a 4th head. That is Karma, just like bobbing and weaving on the side. They're scary, man. I've fought many a Chimera in my day, Chris.
That's exactly what I thought. Would you be able to take down this Chimera, though, if you were playing, even if we cloned you 3 times?
No, I don't think so. Unless I had some magical weaponry to work with.
OpTic Gaming has been lights out since Atlanta, where they fell to E United. There has been a fire within this team. They stormed through Paris. It got a little bit messy against Luminosity last night. If you remember back to their last matchup, they should have lost 3-0. Instead, though, they were able to power through, win a Game 5, and that's why they're on our main stage today against Splyce.
And what's really interesting here, Chris, when you take a look at the game modes, OpTic Gaming has won 100% of their search and destroys. Splyce has won 100% of their uplinks. It's going to be a battle, but what's going to break this game for me has got to be the hard point, because that's where the teams are a little bit more evenly matched. And that's what we're going to be starting off with, and it's going to be throwback, buddy. This is going to be a fun one.
Absolutely. Dallas, are you guys ready? It's time to kick this one off. We are 9 seconds away from game number 1 in the best of 5. Get on your feet, make some noise. It's time to get this party started.
Well, we are going to start things off with Zero, the new man, the new addition to Splyce, and God, has he been a phenom, specifically in Search and Destroy, but he has backed it up with his respawn gameplay, and he's starting it off with finding one mid-map.
Talking to this Splyce squad, though, especially Trey, Zero, he said, I've been off to slow starts in game 1. I don't know why, but it seems in the second half, that's when I wake up, and then game 2, I've been having great searches.
Oh, it's been absurd. I mean, the speed at which he has gained camo in some of the game 2s is just unrivaled by anyone at this tournament. It's been fantastic to see what he can get done. But now, on the other side, you have 2 in a row here for Karma, sitting at 2-1, tagged up from both sides. Somehow the Wizards staying alive for a bit, but finally will fall. But when you take a look at the scoreboard, it's all green wall to kick things off.
If you're just joining us in competitive Call of Duty, welcome to the party. This is Hardpoint. It's going to be game number 1 and game number 4 in our best of 5 series. The goal of this, you have to control the point. It's the first team to 250 points will win our first game. OpTic Gaming, they're already up 18 and counting, but this is your next rotation. The big fight for the barn. Our European Splyce are set up first, and that killed from Jerd will keep them fortified.
And this will be interesting to see, because you talk about a team last night in Luminosity that's built to be slay heavy, to go up against OpTic Gaming in the respawns, and you saw that they could. I don't want to hear that OpTic Gaming played poor. No, Luminosity was playing fantastic in those respawns. Octane is back to Octane of old. And this Splyce team is built with a similar kind of pace, right? They want to be able to just hang with them in the respawn, hang in the slang. We're going to see if they can do it.
You talked to people in Europe about Bance, and he was kind of the breakout all-star from Europe last year throughout Black Ops 3. This tournament, he has played phenomenal. In their winner's bracket round 1, he finished with ridiculous numbers in the respawn. I'm looking for Bance to be a star throughout this series. Already, he's on a 4 streak. He's 8-3. Keep your eyes on this young man. He is potentially the greatest player in EU right now.
Yeah, he's absolutely a phenom, and we'll see as he's going to rack up the final seconds. We'll watch the rotation out. It's going to be heading to bike path as he's going to wrap by Lemon and look to get his eagle on teammate. Already picking up 1. Top tracks is going to be the play. Sees one at back. Boss tags up Karma, but wisely stays alive. His teammate follows it up, almost able to trade both kills there, but it's Scumpy inside, finding 2.
What a slide from Scump there. Jerd is going to be in. He's going to be scoring. And he does have a little bit of protection. Trim just picked off Vance, though. Now Jerd has to defend himself. Zero is there to help out with the kill on Karma. Somehow, Splyce holds on. Both teams going back and forth, battling down low. At the end of the day, it's OpTic's Crim 6 coming out on top.
And this is a really big game 1 for OpTic Gaming, in the sense that, you know, you felt good about their ability to beat Luminosity in the S&D. I know we've highlighted their woes a lot, but this is going to be their toughest test in Search and Destroy thus far this weekend. So you want to get off to a hot start, get the early lead in game 1. As good as you've been playing in Search, man, this is going to be an absolute battle for you. It's Karma, though, in the back, lining up one and getting an assist on another as well, and that's 3 kills in the kill feed for OpTic Gaming as they're setting up at Statue.
So, Maven, while we're still in our first round of rotation of hard points, let's talk big picture here.
Sure.
When you look at this matchup, best in EU going up against the best team in the world right now in OpTic Gaming, how does this series play out? Is this a game 5, or is this a series that we should see OpTic go 3-0 or even 3-1?
Well, when Scump's play like this, 18-8 on a 7 streak, you feel like no one can beat them in a best of 5. Like Karma said last night, no one's got a chance to take us in a 5-game series. But I do think absolutely this has the potential to be deep. This could go 4 or 5 games, and I think it's going to be the uplink. That is one on Precinct that I think Splyce can absolutely win. Again, they haven't lost it yet, so I just don't see this being a 3-0 for OpTic.
Finally, Scump's gonna reload. After a minute of having about 15 bullets in his gun, he's feeling safe. He's gonna go for the reload, and that is something I've really enjoyed watching from this man, is he will go down to the very last bullet if he needs to. Always has to be ready for the pressure. Scump on that 7 streak, as you touched on, fully streaked out, will be our player to watch, especially in these wide open hills. If OpTic loses control, he can instantly punish Splyce.
Ooh, finally gonna fall, but what's scary if you're Splyce, Formal's actually been your respawn KD leader at a 1.29 for OpTic Gaming. He's only got 6 kills, and you're still leading by 30. That is the terrifying chimera that I described when you look at OpTic Gaming.
Well, to be fair, though, he's only been in 14 gun engagements,
right?
As opposed to, like, Scumpy's 30 at this point. Formal is playing the slow roll. They're letting Scump once again be that active player around the map. Crim6 and Karma have also been all over these hills. It's been Formal's job to kind of change it up. No longer is he flying at Splyce. He's trying to pick them off from a distance.
Well, it's been an interesting dynamic, really, for this team, just from a slang perspective. It's like a wide margin lead for Scump and Formal in the respawn, and then Crim and Karma completely take over when it comes to the search and destroy. That dynamic has been working for them beautifully. They haven't built too much of a lead. It's been Splyce really able to hang on despite the explosion from Scump early on. They're still very much in striking distance.
Big kills from Crim6. That 2-piece is going to open up the back. OpTic has the spawn. Splyce is in the barn, but not for long. Instantly, Karma takes out Bance. 2 players challenging for Splyce. It's going to be Jerd threatening, but the flank comes in, and Scump in their back once again, picking up his 23rd kill, and OpTic keeps scoring already to 120 to just 81 for Splyce.
Yeah, and you just need, it's like Splyce needs an energy injection right now or something. You have 3 players negative. Jerd, the only one really sitting up top at 17 and 16. Everyone else kind of getting slaughtered right now, specifically Mad Cat. He has to be big for them, especially as this series goes on, because speaking of uplink, he's been a big reason why they've been strong. He's phenomenal at Precinct.
Talking to Jerd before this game, I asked him, how do you feel you match up against OpTic Gaming? He just shrugged his shoulders. He's like, yeah, pretty good, I guess. But he didn't seem to be super confident. I asked him, when was the last time we saw you and Mad Cat in a winner's bracket finals with international competition? He said it's been all the way since G3 back in Call of Duty Ghost. So if they can pull off the victory here over OpTic Gaming and match up against FaZe later in that winner's bracket finals, that will be a massive accomplishment for these legendary players.
Well, unfortunately for them, they're running into Scump, who has just been destroying 29 and 13. He has 2 separate 7 streaks. He's putting up statistics that are just insane. What do you do when you're fighting against this? He's on pace to drop 40 plus. A magnificent performance from the King.
The Let's Go OpTic chant has started here in the venue. Jerd, though, is going to slide through, punish Formal. Scump trades out with 0, and it looks like Scump is going to be fighting for control down low. Splyce trying to inch back in this game, but OpTic constantly contesting under the bridge.
I still feel like this is like a Rocky movie, right? Where you see Rocky just weather the storm, just take the blows time and time again, and then do you have something left at the end if you're Splyce to take over the game? That's what we'll have to wait and see, but OpTic still has not been a pull away and bury Splyce here.
Scumpy did use his Scorchers a little bit earlier, but has that bombardment, also has the Trinity Rocket. Look for it to come in on this hard point if needed. For now, Formal is inside with the K-Bar. Jerd is there to punish. Scump, is he going to use them? Yes, here they come down from the sky.
This is going to enable them to get the break. He catches one coming underneath as well. A couple assists actually coming through with the kill to go with it. And now you're inside and set up. Pushing out blue is Scump. Still a Trinity Rocket in. reactive armor to work with, finding a kill on the outside. He's heating up, and they've got control here of the hard point.
There's a player right next to him. It's Zero. Big gunfight won by Scump. Once again, now challenging the player on the hill. Scump is gunning him down. Bance is no longer scoring. You're going to see Karma inside the hill. 10 points remain, and it'll be Splyce with the scrap time, but OpTic already setting up for this new hill in the mid.
I love this, man, but it's Zero trying to bring it back. They need him to go huge. He started to come alive a bit, 22 and 24. He has camo here, shots a bit off as he searches down tracks for a kill, but he's got Mad Cat there to back him up. Another one inside a window, but Karma, with just an inch of his life left, wins the gunfight.
Bance was 8-3 to open this game. He is now 15 and 24. He has been absolutely shut down by players like Scub, who is nearing a 40 bomb. Bance needs to kick it up in the second half because you have Zero coming to life. Jerd is staying consistent. You need one more Slayer to cancel out the power that we're seeing from OpTic Gaming.
It just feels like if you're Splyce, if you're the Team Talk guys, we're lucky. We're lucky to be here right now. It shouldn't be this close with what Scump has done to us, but they've managed to do it, and they're getting the scrap time inside the central hard point now. We'll see if they can get the final 15 points or so, and we've got all but a tie game, really, if they can pick up the remaining points. It's going to be so tight. These key gunfights with Scump in the back will be big. Able to win one, his teammates come through with a couple as well, and inside barn first will be Karma.
That's right, Maven. We're basically down to the final rotation of hills, and you're going to see 7 to 8 payloads coming into play. OpTic already has 3 secured. Crim6 about to have his. Scump is going to use that reactive armor. Going for some big fights here in the barn. We'll trade out with Bance, but Jerd and Mad Cat are there. Karma escapes with his life for now. Formal continues to score for OpTic Gaming. Just a 25-point game.
This is just an interesting game. You're getting out of Formal 20 and 20, basically even, but leading in time in the hard point. He hasn't had to do it all in the slaying department, as it has been Scump from the beginning till now, just destroying. But inside the hard point for the end of time again, just like we saw with the last one, it's going to be Zero and crew looking to pick up the scrap, and they just keep doing just enough to hold on as Zero finds 2 more.
While we're watching the action in the barn, I'm keeping my eyes on player number 1 on your mini-map. Keep your eyes on that yellow arrow from Jerd. He is winning the fights against Formal on the rotation. He's basically locked down that barn for his squad. Made it everyone else able to focus on the entry for OpTic Gaming, and now Splyce with a 7-point lead. They have stuck in this game despite 43 kills from Scump, and now Maven, they could potentially steal this one.
It's like I said, man, it's like Scump delivered the haymaker, but the haymaker didn't knock them out. They stayed in it, and now they're up 7. Swapping focus, though, over to Karma as he's playing back bus, trying to look over his teammate for him on the hard point. The shots are on with the NB4. There's one close. You see on a X-ray right below, tries to get the angle, but a little bit too tagged up. But the time still going the way of Splyce. They're inside and making every point count.
12-point advantage and counting. Splyce continues to score. Formal gets into contest. He's got the position, but not long. Instantly traded out. It's Mad Cat with the 3-piece, and he will have control of the final scrap seconds. And now, Maven, we are going to another rotation. Who is going to win this big fight? It looks like OpTic Gaming just has one player to beat in the back. Formal's going to be able to pick up that kill on Bance. They are set up to score big here on baseball.
And they got the spawn at top blue, which is what they needed. Crim6 and Formal pop close, and they should be able to get the hold. Mad Cat's trying to push the top. Scump coming in from mid-map. OpTic finding the kills, but Zero still here, trying to be a nuisance. We've only got 22 seconds on the actual game clock with how far this one's gone into it. OpTic now looking for a lead change. They've got 203, and they are fighting for control. This one's going to go down to the wire.
OpTic Gaming taking your lead, but like you said, 22 seconds on the game clock. We could potentially end this game before either team hits 250. OpTic with a small lead, but those gunfights will secure them 15 more points. That is going to put them within striking distance on this next hill.
And look at the streak from OpTic. It's 12 in a row for the team. When it comes down to crunch time, nobody does it better. Formal, 5 in a row, grabbing the remaining time, and now it's time to push out. You have Scump on one side, Formal on the other. The trap is in. Scump finds the first kill. Look at the clock. It keeps ticking down. They don't even need to get the hard point. They just have to play the time.
Absolutely no one in there. That means the clock is going to tick. 5, 4, 3, 2, OpTic Gaming takes this one 233 to 206.
And that is something we rarely ever see, Chris. It's going to time limit, and OpTic knew it. They set up at both windows. They have the trap there. All they're playing it for is no one to get in the hard point. And what easier hard point to do it than the one top middle? They set up perfectly. Scump gets to the opposite side of the map early, and that was a thing of beauty. OpTic get it done in the game one.
I can't tell you the last time I've seen a game finish based on time clock alone. That is just a testament to how close Splyce is in this matchup against OpTic Gaming, even though they come out with the loss. Jerd, he had a great game. You had Zero heating up at the end. They know they're in this one for real.
Well, it's funny because we just talked about this a little bit. Basically, we haven't really seen this happen at all, where they don't get to 250 throughout Infinite Warfare, whereas in Black Ops 3 on several occasions, like I think at times where it happened, but you get it here. What an insane game. Zero was doing everything he could towards the end, but really, I mean, it was Formal and Scump throughout the course of it.
What a great showing here on Throwback, one of my favorite maps to watch, and these two teams just put on a hell of a performance for us. Let's take a look at some of the numbers here as OpTic edges out Splyce in the final minute and a half. It's Scumpy dropping 51. 51. You don't see 50 bombs very often, folks, and as close as it was, they needed every one of those kills, but look at baseball. That's your money hill, and that is where they shut down Splyce. They got a 100-point advantage on just that hard point. Ridiculous performance on baseball. Splyce knows it. That was their game. They came back, they stole the lead, hit that 200 mark first. OpTic stole it back, though, and that's exactly what we saw OpTic do against Luminosity last night.
And what I want to talk about, though, we kind of hinted at it. It's this key player matchup coming into Search and Destroy. Let's take a look at the G Fuel key player matchup. It's going to be Zero versus Crim6. They have just had ridiculous Search and Destroy stats. I do not believe that is correct for Zero, because last I saw he was like a 1.65 and a 1.76 for Crim6. So both of these guys have just been absolute monsters.
Yeah, and Crim last night was even above a 2.0 before that Game 5 versus Luminosity. His numbers throughout this week have been ridiculous, but Zero, like you said, a 1.65 most likely overall for this tournament. He has been their star. How many times have we seen him get multiple camos in this same game of Search and Destroy?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Yeah, it's a 1.76 for Crim, and yes, the 1.65 for Zero. So yeah, they've been nuts, man. And Zero, the big thing here, what I'm going to keep my eyes on is, again, the ability for him to get camo so early. I know we've talked about it a lot this weekend, but when you're getting it in round 2 or 3, it's game-changing. And I know he's been good in respawn, but where he's changed the pace, I was talking to Jared outside yesterday, and he said, he's like, I'm not really sure if we're playing well in S&D or if Zero's carrying us. Like, I can't tell, because remember, this team hasn't played together long. They're still kind of figuring things out. He's been that good that Jared had a bit of a question mark.
And the European players, they say Search and Destroy is not a game mode. We practice against each other. We don't have a whole lot of S&D tournaments to really get that preparation before an event. But it seems Zero has brought new life to this Splyce squad in the Search and Destroys. I talked to the guy, I asked him, if you weren't a pro player right now, what would you be doing? He said, well, I'm not that smart. I'd probably be a binman, which is a garbage man. I disagree. His in-game IQ is ridiculous, especially in Search.
He'd be a model. Have you seen that smile on Zero? It's like a dream. He takes my breath away, Chris.
The next cover girl. Here we go, Maven. S&D loading up right now. It is time to go into our second game here in the best of 5. And if game 1 is going to tell the story, I have a feeling this one's going the distance.
Yeah, so remember, hardpoint, it was something like a 70% win rate for OpTic, 50% for Splyce, but it's these two next game modes that are the interesting one. 100% win in S&D for OpTic, 100% for Splyce. But ladies and gentlemen, it's time to get into Search and Destroy. Dallas, make some noise.
Oh, you guys can do better than that. Come on, Dallas, let's make some noise. It is time for game number 2. We got Splyce on your screen first. It's gonna be Zero, your bomb carrier. And once again, we're gonna see the attack down low on your mini-map for the majority of this game. Splyce is gonna get the immediate plant, but OpTic, they're looking for a first pick, and it's probably gonna come on a flank.
And that's part of the reason he's been able to get camo early as well. He gets a lot of plants to go with the kills he gets post-plant, is what has added together to be just some absurd numbers. 4-0. But right now, it's going to be a 3v2 advantage for Splyce. Krim trying to wrap back towards Bridge. He's got one above him here. That's going to be actually Jerd in the corner. This is all going to be timing. Jerd's going to find him. It's now on Formal in the 1v3, and since bomb was planted so quickly, he's got 20 seconds left in basically an impossible situation as he drops.
Has to check 1,000 angles. Jerd only has to look at one. The fist bumps come in, and it is Splyce on the board first with a successful attack.
And again, this is by far their toughest test in search. When talking to Envy, I was talking to John a little bit, and he said their search is off. So if you thought maybe that was going to be their hardest test, certainly in pulls, they haven't been playing well in search. Splyce has been amazing. OpTic, their first true test. Let's see how they answer now on offense.
And it looks like we're going to see the bomb in the hands of player number 7. That's going to be Karma as usual. The attack's going down here at B, and the opening kill goes in favor of Karma. Zero is there to trade with Jerd. Jerd picks up the 2-piece. It's all down to Krim.
He gets that grenade off at the last second, which at least finds one, but now Krim yet to find a kill here. He's going to look to clutch up against Jerd and Mad Cat, and the start from Jerd is basically what we were talking about with Zero. Just a hot start, already has his payload to work with. 5-0, it's 6 stuff.
Second round, payload acquired here for Jerd. But it's not going to be that crucial camo. So we'll see how impactful it is in the early half of this game. Fantastic start for Splyce, bouncing back here in game 2. They strike first.
And it's been great to see, you know, the questions about their communication when losing Josh. How is that going to work out? You know, we thought he was the leader. We thought they were going to lose something, but again, they were frustrated, his way or the highway. The communication now seems to be better. They like playing together. There aren't any issues internally, and God, man, it's been showing fucking.
The highway is clear, Maven. These guys are speeding through the competition. FTL jump is that payload available for Jerd. We'll see when he decides to use that, most likely in the second half of this game. There's going to be just one defender on top of these stairs, but the grenades can do damage from anywhere, and you're going to see Karma lighting things up first. He will be traded out, and Zero is down for Splyce, so a 3-on-3.
And you're so close to getting that Trinity rocket for Jerd. I believe he was just 50 off of it. Krim able to gun Bance. Will swap over to Mad Cat. They're going to be in a 2 versus 3. And this is important because Jerd, yeah, again, these streaks, and he's not in a good spot. He's going to get out. You may even think about using this FTL jump. I was just about to say, think about getting it to the edge because you're so close to streaks. And it's not really a game-changing one. I mean, that's as good a spot as any, I think, to use an FTL jump. Just try to stay alive, find one kill, and pick up streaks.
That's assuming there's no one on the other side of that wall.
Yeah.
No way to know that, but I get where you're going with this. Honestly, streaks could be the game changer in this one. But Splyce, they've straight up been winning the gunfights. They're getting into position faster than OpTic Gaming. That's finally a big defensive win. And we will see what OpTic can do in the second half of this game. They're going to be on the attack. Bomb back in the hands of Karma. Your score 2-1 entering round 4. OpTic trying to tie this one up.
Well, Krim's got to get ready. The flank is coming on. They hit quick. He was not prepared for that at all. It was a 3-man push through the flank as soon as Krim turns. He has multiple players in his face, but the call out obviously ended. Formal wraps back. That should be an easy one for him to pick up. One kill goes his way. Another one in the back. Can't snap on. That's Mad Cat trading it. Now Karma by himself. He's 2-3, and he's got 3 players to fight.
Karma basically at this point has to delay the defeat. Or just kill all 3 of them. Gets the first 2 picks, expects the flank, but it's Zero who is sticking it right now. He's been on it for 4 seconds, and he's gonna get them all. What a clutch play here from Splyce. They have faith in the defuse, and even though he lost his protectors, Zero is gonna come up big.
And basically, Karma would have had to, you know, snap, and then directly to bomb. He was worried that they were gonna try to trade the kill. You see that a lot, right?
Yeah.
You play as 3 together, you flock, make sure you trade it. He was heads up thinking about the kill the whole time. They're on the bomb clutch heads up play from Splyce.
You can't bank on a clutch 1v3 from Karma here if you're OpTic Gaming. You got to get the early kills, and that is what Splyce is bringing to the table already. Formal and Scump out of the action. Your big threats are gone. Now it's just Karma and Krim 6.
And Jerd had questions about the search. 10-2. What an absolute monster, but it's OpTic Gaming in another 2 versus 3. Karma and Krim 6 have a lot of work to do and only 30 seconds to work the defuse.
Say that again. Jerd, 10-2. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in round 5. Jerd is playing insane today.
It's been incredible to see him develop over the course of this game. You saw the 2-piece he had to open up this round. And with 15 seconds left, There's nothing he can do. Karma's about to be tagged up from 3 angles. They don't even need to find the kill. Bullets flying in from everywhere. No time to make the play. And as Crim peeks, he falls. It's fist bumps around for Splyce as they now take a 4-1 edge.
I'll tell you what, Maven, Crim6 has been playing incredible in Search throughout this entire weekend, but his numbers are going to take a dive after this game. Splyce just has too much firepower. Here is Crim in the round-ending kill cam getting gunned by Bance. 4 straight perfect bullets right into Crim's chest once again. We're going into our next round with your score 4-1 in favor of Splyce. They are 2 rounds away from tying up this best-of-5 series.
All right, well, here we go. On with Karma, sitting at 4-4. I mean, honestly, it's a lackluster performance and kills from everyone in the lobby outside of Jerd. When you take a look across it, there's nothing that really stands out, but finally there, Crim able to get a first blood for OpTic. It feels like every single round we've been talking about the edge for Splyce.
Jerd is going to get picked. Scump showing up big there with the K-Bar 2-piece. Jerd and Bance have been eliminated. 0 now in a 1v4. This is a round that OpTic should have 100% locked up. 0 is not going to give his opponents a chance to get the kill. Instead, goes outside of the map, gives himself up, and forces round 7.
You don't even have time to find everybody there. It's not worth it. Takes the death. And that gives another round here to OpTic, but the key is just getting that first blood, at least playing with odds for once. I mean, it's a big map. You can play very spread out. Being down a man can hurt you even more than some other maps, so you have to really focus up here. Splyce now going to be on the attack.
And if you remember back to last night against Luminosity, OpTic was in the same exact situation. They clutched up in a game 1. They were down 4-2, but then battled back to win around 11. Is this where the comeback starts? It's not looking good here in round 7. It's already a 2-on-1. Make it a 2-on-2 as Bance is dropped. So even playing field, and now come the streaks for Splyce now.
I get what you're saying, but Splyce isn't Luminosity when it comes to search and destroy. Yes, a comeback is possible, but it is not going to be an easy road. We'll see if they have what it takes. It's going to be formal now in a 1 versus 2. 45 seconds on the clock. Long range fight needs one more bullet to the toe of Mad Cat, and this becomes much more interesting. But now, still a ton of work to do.
Formal was 1 bullet away from death himself, though, so he's forced to back down. Bomb still not planted. 30 seconds remain. And it's going to be the pressure on Jerd to either get that bomb down or just hunt down Formal. It looks like they've tagged him up once again. The health is regenerated. The bomb is rotating. How does Formal react?
Well, what's getting interesting here is if he can just find the kill somehow onto the planter, you're not going to have enough time here to make a play. But it looks like he's going to play safe for A and now play the defuse. This is going to be so tough. Bomb down, they're in good positions, but he does have the high ground, and you know he can shoot lasers, but it's Mad Cat with a laser of his own, evaporating Formal at top plat. It's now 5-2.
I mean, we have these yellow outlines. We know where Splyce is set up, but I'll be honest, I'm so impressed with the way that Formal was able to scout out the first player, immediately know where the second one is set up. He was pre-aimed at where Mad Cat was at, but Mad Cat hit every single bullet.
And you can see the angle there. You just see like the head of Mad Cat barely. You see Mad Cat's POV. You have the entire body of Formal to line up. It's not an easy gunfight. Formal, a guy that prides himself in taking those advantageous ones, just not in a position to do it there.
Splyce on game point. Will they be able to take it here? It's going to be Scump and Karma with 2 kills, but out comes 0. Only 1 up for OpTic Gaming. It's Crim6 going up against Mad Cat and 0.
Well, we highlighted Crim. He's been so good in Search. He's 4-5 right now, and to keep their dreams alive in the game 2, has to clutch the 1v2. First things first, going to get bomb in hand, grab a K-bar to work with as well. He's got 55 seconds to work with. You can see on the minimap those 2 yellow arrows hunting together, making sure they're ready to trade the kill.
Crim has no idea where these defenders are, now being tagged up in the back. Has a pretty good idea. He's going to be rotating around, and how does Crim play this? So much time. You can look for an early pick. You can go for a bomb plant, thinking that the defense is just going to play back, and Crim, he's guessed right.
Yeah, it's just so tough because they're going to push and have high ground. Whether they decide to go from scaffolding, from that mid-plat, they're going to have the advantage. But I like what Crim is trying to do here. At least play away from the bomb site, not take that lower ground. Try to see if he can get an opening pick with 30 seconds left.
And don't be surprised if we see 0 just going straight for the defuse again. He did it in round 3. He could potentially pull it off once again. Crim6 trying to keep OpTic in this.
He just gives himself at least a favorable gunfight. I don't think he actually got spotted. It was a oh, he did. And I thought it was a pre-aim to the corner maybe behind that box is what we saw, but Splyce now, they get it done. That is going to be the first loss for OpTic Gaming in Search and Destroy, and it's the European Splyce that gets it done.
Very impressive stuff, especially from Jerd. Round 4, he already was into double digits. He gave Splyce that hot break that they needed coming into this one. We got a tied up series, Maven, and now we're going into an uplink game number 3 where this could go either way.
Yeah, now, yesterday, if you were OpTic, you had to deal with the streak ending at 23 games. Now you have to deal a little bit with, hey, we felt invincible in Search and Destroy. We haven't lost it all. It's felt so good. They dropped the Search. And what's tough, though, is you're going into uplink, which, again, Splyce has not lost. They've been brilliant. We've seen them destroy top North American teams. And another key note here for Splyce, remember what Bance said in his interview yesterday, how they're pretty good at breakout, they're really bad in that particular hardpoint against top North American teams. It's Scorch. You don't have to deal with breakout, so that looks good for Splyce as well.
Excited to see how the rest of this one plays out. For now, let's take a look back at game number 2. By the numbers, your top performer from Splyce, it was Jerd, 12-4, a 3.0 KD. You can see how the rounds played out. Basically, every third round, OpTic was able to steal one, but this was all Splyce from the beginning.
Yeah, and on the other side, I mean, so far this series has been a scump show, right? He goes 7-6 with one of the positive KDs for his team in game 1, the 51 bomb. He's doing it all. But in Search, man, they were outclassed. That wasn't close.
58 kills through 2 games for Scumpy. Keep an eye on that man going into a game number 3. On the opposite side of the stage, though, this has been a very well-rounded squad. Splyce coming in to do work this weekend.
They look beautiful. Can Splyce keep it going, or can OpTic Gaming bounce back in game 3? We'll see after this break. Ghost in the Shell is going to be in theaters March 31st. I am a big Scarlett Johansson fan. I will be seeing that film opening weekend. I've also seen the original film probably 10 times, so I'm looking forward to it.
It's going to be a great film. Of course, March 31st, Maeve and I will be sharing a bucket of popcorn, but get your popcorn ready. Game 3 coming up right now. We're heading into Uplink this series. It's all tied up. The storyline coming in, if you're just joining us, this is Splyce, the best team in Europe right now, going up against the #1 team in the world from North America. It's OpTic Gaming.
And I wasn't kidding the other day when I said, it was during a Splyce match, and I'm old. I sometimes take little power naps between cast. I actually had a little daydream that it was an OpTic Splyce final. So I would not be surprised with as tough as this has been. This could be a preview of the grand final, man. These 2 teams have been amazing this weekend. And my dreams are psychic. They tell the future.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm just going to let that marinate for a little bit.
I don't know.
Yeah, I believe you, though. Honestly, I would not be surprised to see Splyce finally in our top 3. It's something that we haven't seen from them yet this year. They had a slow start in Vegas. Paris, they were looking stronger, but now you got 0 on the squad. There's new energy to this team. They're all playing the way these 4 players want to approach the game, and they're having great success here in Dallas.
And now it is going to an uplink. Splyce, they've been amazing. I just will never forget Jack and I at ESWC hopping into the game 3 when they're playing Envy, and just the 14-0 pounding they gave just showed to me how good they were. And it was on Precinct. And Mad Cat and Bance both dropped 35+. Look for that duo of Mad Cat and Bance to be phenomenal here in game 3.
Mad Cat Bance combo, those are the players to watch from Splyce over on OpTic Gaming. Scumpy dropped 51 kills in our first respawn game mode. Uplink, you don't expect to see anyone over 40, but if anyone can do it, it's this guy.
Yeah, Scump just putting up some games this weekend that are just, that seems statistically impossible, right? They're just those outliers in the tournament. If you took probably some of your craziest top 5 KDs, he's got to have a few of them just from some of these monster games that we've seen, at least from pool play and the winner's bracket. But it's Krim on your screen. The leader needs to get these guys going. the veteran, has showed he is one of the greatest players of all time, and they're going to need every bit of that in this uplink.
World champion, X Game gold medalist in Crim6 going up against Europe's best, some of the breakout stars alongside the old veterans of Mad Cat and Jerd. It's uplink, game number 3, and as you touched on, through 5 series, Splyce has not dropped a single uplink yet this weekend.
And Crim, he disrespects Europe. He's won, what, 5 ESWCs in a row? He's made Europe his when it comes to Call of Duty. Maybe some vengeance and opening up his Bance with 2 kills. Drone in hand for Bance as well. And now it's going to be an OpTic Gaming to play a bit of defense here as the pressure beginning to come forward. Formal, Crim, Karma, shut it down, but the 1-pointer is away and good. That's 1 for Bance.
Nice toss by Bance after getting the first 2 kills. The rest of his teammates fell, but it didn't matter. Splyce able to strike in your first 30 seconds, so OpTic has to respect that. They have to be aware at any time Splyce can be running straight for their base. Scump trying to power his way through, but the defense just too strong.
Yeah, he's by himself. There's not a lot he can do, just trying to delay. He'll have plenty of time to come off spawn to get back into the fight at mid-map in Statue. As I say, it'll probably go down Statue. Crim gets dropped. Let's see where the focus is going to be. It's 0 now with drone in hand. He's just trying to play a little sneaky spot behind the car. He had some cover over the top. It's going to be a 3 versus 3 here in the fight, but now it's Karma and Crim finding a few kills.
4-2 is Crim6 right now. You got Karma sitting at 3-2. Formal had a really slow start to that first game of Hardpoint, but we'll look to see what he can do in the second half of this game. The toss is up, but that one red a mile away. Splyce gets up in the air. 0 gets the interception. They throw the drone out of the map. It's reset back in the lobby.
Those interceptions start to take their toll, man. A good defense for Splyce. You still have Crim here from OpTic Gaming mid-street trying to make a pinch opportunity alive if the other side of his team can start to get forward through Ticket. But as Crim drops, it's going to slow down this push. It collapses completely. Scump tries to retake Crim's position and gets cut down by Mad Cat. I told you, man, the combo of Mad Cat and Bance, so good. And now coming forward again, trying to get the shot over the top. Just not enough time.
Hail Mary not going to pay off this time for Bance. It did in our first 30 seconds. That's where the only point on your scoreboard came from. Since then, it's been back and forth attempts with the defense. The respawners just too much for the opposition. 0 is going to be taking the drone, but knows he needs more kills first. Bance trying to clear the way. There's 2 down. Karma, though, is in the mix here. That kill from 0 could open things up. Player number 1, look for Jerd to be the lead blocker for our first dunk.
Yeah, they've got a pinch, too. 2 players had to focus on the back, so that opens up Jerd to get shots in the front. The long range one, as he's getting tagged from behind, is going to be good. And that's a 1-pointer here for Zeros. They take a 2-0 edge.
Jerd was 1 kill away from making that a 2-point play, but smart decision by 0. Just put the points on the board. 1 at a time will add up. Jerd on your screen right now is going to be flanking 2 players. They've got him pinned here in the lobby, and he knows the pressure's going to be coming from the spawn. Reacting perfectly. That's 3 down, make it 4 down. Only Formal coming up off spawn, able to trade out kills. The drone, though, not moving yet. This is a missed opportunity for Splyce. Will they be able to still convert points?
Yeah, they are. I mean, you got Jerd in the base. He picked up 2. He's got the dunk as well. 3 in a row for Jerd. 4 in a row for Mad Cat. And this is why they're so good at uplink. They're unselfish. They'll get forward. They play together as a team, and they've been so much better at a pinch attack than you've seen from OpTic Gaming. As OpTic hasn't been able to control mid-street. They've mostly been pushing, trying to get into Ticket. You've been seeing the hits coming from every angle from Splyce, and that's why they have a 4-0 edge.
Jerd with that big 2-piece is what sealed the deal on the last dunk. A nice alley-oop play coming through here as Splyce is doing an excellent job of keeping the drone away from OpTic Gaming, stopping them short on every push. And to be honest, OpTic is getting slaughtered here. Mad Cat +6, you got Bance +3, Jerd is positive as well. You are pinned in your base right now. More points coming in close, but 3 members of OpTic on defense, and Mad Cat will not get on the flank fast enough.
I mean, if anything, he's not going to get points there, but he might have slowed down any kind of counter attack, at least if he found the 2 he lined up. But yeah, I mean, I mentioned at the beginning, I've watched a lot of Splyce on this particular map, and it is Mad Cat and Bance. That duo is phenomenal at getting the slaying done while Jerd and 0 get the dirty work in. And so far, so good. But OpTic Gaming now getting their first points on the board.
Yeah, nice dunk coming in here. That was Formal, who is able to finish the play off. OpTic in the last minute was able to outslay Splyce. It's been a while since we can say that. 30 seconds remain here in our first half while OpTic stay hot here and be able to rally one more in. They just need one cycle of kills. You look at the setup on defense here. Player number 7, Karma, trying to get to the ticket booth. Here comes OpTic's swing.
And that's the pitch you need. You need to hit from 2 prongs, and that comes through. The distraction is there. And now the tie game with 10 seconds left. OpTic Gaming getting on the board in a big way. I had not enough time to get anything else going, but that's the first time we've seen this level of control. Not once from this side did they get it done. And in my opinion, if you're going to win a game, you need to get that trap a couple times through the course of that half.
Splyce played perfect for 4 minutes and 10 seconds. OpTic Gaming, though, ties up our score in the last 50. We go into halftime. It's all tied up. This is game number 3 in even series. It couldn't be closer, but now we switch sides. Can Splyce continue to score from the other half of the map?
They should. I mean, this is where you can get the trap. Granted, OpTic Gaming going to be one of the toughest teams to do it against. But let's watch Dirt as he is set up to get pressure on the drone. 1 kill down, another at back cat statue. He sees him as well. Not challenging yet, just a little bit of dipping and diving. Now he flies out and Formal, able to get the better of him. Drone now in hands of OpTic Gaming. It's going to be Scump trying to make a play, but Mad Cat and Bance, those two just shredding in the lobby, finding all the kills, and now it's going to be an opportunity for them to get forward and get points on the board.
Keep your eyes on the kill feed in the bottom left. That tells you all the kills that are happening around the map. When you see Bance's name, often his name showing up twice. He's able to pick up the multi-kills, which clears off half of the team. Mad Cat is there this time around. A dunk is guaranteed to go through. 6-4, a 2-point advantage in favor of Splyce.
That's exactly what I was talking about with how much better they've been at pinching. It was Zero being patient all the way down by Cherry Blossom. As soon as they start to push out Ticket, he hits from the back, and they collapse perfectly on OpTic Gaming. Trying to soar out window to find a 1-point play. It looks like the defense for now strong enough for OpTic. Crim6 and crew get it done, and now it's their chance for a counter.
Zero was threatening. He picked up 2 of the 3 defenders. Crim6, though, holding strong. Will keep this a 1-possession game, and it will be Crim, your drone carrier now, as Formal tries to clear the way. OpTic Gaming being pinned back. Splyce is unrelenting with this pressure.
And the reason that this side is so hard to attack against, at least if you're pushing from the top, you have to deal with a person that's always that top statue. You see that yellow X-ray, it's playing, if it's gonna be Mad Cat. Look, that is why it's so annoying. You get such good angles on the opposition. It's so difficult to push him if you have lobby control as well. If he can continue to hold that, it's gonna be hard to push from that position.
Clean sweep there. Scumpy picks up 3. The final kill comes through. Now OpTic can finally surge forward. They're going very slow, though, looking for initial picks, and honestly, OpTic's gonna have to rethink their strategy, because if they keep trying to force their way on this far side of the map, the Splyce reinforcements have just been too strong.
That should be Bance, the last one falling. You still have a player on defense at Zero. As he drops, that's at least 1. You actually probably had a 2-pointer there, but you take the 1, you try to play the control game. Formal, still in the base. He's gonna be wrapping back to try and get position behind, but as he gets cut down, now you're really thinking you wish you maybe went for 2, unless you can get another point here. The interception, though, it's Mad Cat up high with those cat-like reflexes.
We've seen 3 interceptions from Splyce so far. They still lead by 1 point. 2 minutes and 25 seconds remain here in our swing game. It'll be Mad Cat with the drone for Splyce. Gonna pop that payload, the overdrive, speeding him around the map. Spots 2 defenders, has to triple deke, and he is gonna find the melee on Crim. That's gonna give him a 1-point play.
What is this?
Make it another slap, and no point. Formal too strong on D.
Somebody help him! He's dropping Mayweathers on everybody, and there's no one there to pick up the remaining kills so he can put it through. A nice individual try there from Mad Cat, but it's not enough. But with 2 minutes left, Splyce still holding the 1-point edge. Will it be enough to shut down OpTic Gaming? But how many times have we seen OpTic go off in the clutch moment?
I've been so impressed by Karma and Scump's baiting and switching in the last minute and a half, though. Watching them on the mini-map, they have been so pure. Working together at the tandem. Formal is heating up. We have payloads now available. A tie game. We're down to the last 90 seconds, and it's been all OpTic here in the last 2 minutes.
Here goes the camo. They get him the drone. Now it's time for the 2-point play. Can they get the body block? No. Dunk in. 8-6 OpTic Gaming. That is why Camo can be so dominant. And now, for the first time, all the pressure appears to be on Splyce, but the rally is on. The overdrive is on, trying to soar high over the top is Crim6, and that is a dunk and a 4-point advantage with 60 seconds remaining.
Splyce has played so pure for the majority of this game, but when OpTic punishes you, they do it so fast, and they don't just do it once. Back-to-back dunks. As OpTic now has total control, they just need to burn out this clock.
Formal has been crushing 26 and 19. Yeah, you could beat us in S&D. We haven't lost it yet. Right back at you, buddy. You haven't lost Uplink Europe. If you're Splyce, they get it done. Fantastic stuff here from OpTic Gaming. Yes, there's still 30 seconds left, but they have now turned to a new gear.
It's not quite over yet, though. Splyce still fighting as Mad Cat working with Zero. Both players are going to be dropped. Desperation here as Jerd and Bance try and get to the drone. They are running out of time. OpTic, another strong defensive hold. You know, I was questioning OpTic's ability to power through this side of the map, but they have turned it on. It started with some teamwork. Now it's individual performances. Formal, a rock star. Scump killing it at 30 more kills and another respawn, and they are putting the 11th point on the board. This one is over.
OpTic J, I believe on the shoulder of Hex's brother as they're getting pumped, fired up, man. That was some sick stuff. You've had, what, the 2 games come down to the wire have been the Game 1 Hardpoint and the Game 3 Uplink and the Edge, both times going to OpTic Gaming. There is an experience factor, a bond amongst these 4 players that you just can't break.
I've been so impressed with OpTic's ability to bounce back. Anytime it looks like the odds are stacked against them, they are able just to flip the script, take it the other way. They punish so quickly. Splyce, you look at the mistakes they made, really, it's just getting two-pieced in a few clutch situations when OpTic was pushing at the end.
I just feel like also they just couldn't put them away. They had good control. You feel like they outplayed them for 80% of that game. It's just you never got a comfortable lead. And what was the difference maker? It was the overdrive from Krim, and it was the camo from Karma. You get back-to-back dunks, and honestly, OpTic they're the best in the business when it comes to using abilities. That's why you put them in Krim's hand and Karma's hand. The 2 important ones in Uplink, those are the guys you trust to make the best positions, or best plays in the best positions.
It was 6-4. They will finish 11-6. 7 unanswered points from OpTic Gaming to close that one out.
And you know, Mad Cat and Bance, I thought they were going to do really well. You get the 1.41, 31 kills. They get the slaying done. It's just the explosion from OpTic Gaming at the end. They dropped, what, 7 in the second half? 5 of those are in the final 90 seconds. They erupted. When they do that, man, you can't beat them.
You got to answer back in hardpoint now. You're not out of the race yet, but it's starting to get closer. OpTic Gaming is on match point, ending the next hard point. Splyce needs to show up big here. It's been one of their stronger game modes, but you are going up against one of the fiercest slaying squads in the game.
Like I said earlier, you know, Bance, he said, you know, we can play breakout pretty tough against a lot of teams. We just get pummeled by North America's best. You get a bit of a lucky draw here. It's going to be Scorch, and this is a map where, yes, there are a few hard points where you can punish teams, but you also have a few where you can fly. You can play a little bit faster, like Splyce likes to do. There's like top, middle, you think about drill, some hard points you can actually get after a bit and flood and flood and flood. I expect this to be a very, very close game, Chris, I do.
Maven, I know we got a lot of people here in the venue watching for the first time. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. As we load up this next map of Scorch Hardpoint, talk to me about the overall big picture. What are both of these teams trying to do in our game of King of the Hill?
Well, unlike something like, you know, Breakout, well, if you're just talking general Hardpoint, we're going to be rotating hill to hill. We are basically playing King of the Hill, trying to lock it down for position, control the spawns for your team. First to 250 is going to take it. If you're one of the new viewers, one hard point to highlight is going to be your second. That's Turbine. That is where you can set up early, rotate early, get a ton of time. You know, it's good 45 plus second where you can lock it down. But God, man, I have no idea who to take in this, but let's look at the leaderboard and see what players stand out. You see 7th, 8th, 9th. That's Formal, Scump, and Jerd, rounding out kind of your bottom half of the top 10.
Pretty impressive stuff here to have 2 of your Slayers in the top 10. Jerd has been playing insane all weekend. We touched on his performance from game 1. He was a rock star in their Search and Destroy game 2. They need him now more than ever going into this next hard point. But really, you got to look at Bance. He was the guy who was slow on that first throwback. He wasn't able to be there when they needed to close things out in game number 1. You need more than just Jerd going into this game 4.
And this duo here is what's amazing, because if you talked to me before this series, Formal was the MVP for me thus far this tournament for OpTic Gaming. After this series, depending on how this concludes, Scup may have taken that over. And how insane is that to think? How many teams are there really where you can consistently have 2 people at any point that could be MVPs for an overall tournament? Those guys are legendary.
Shout out to OpTic Gaming from Linda Puckett. My mom, watching from church, is cheering on the green wall, she said. So.
I just see her singing songs in church with like her cell phone in her pocket. All right, here we go. It's game 4. OpTic Gaming looking to close out EU's best in Splyce. Can they get it done? Kicking things off with Formal. Swap to Karma.
I want to tell game 5, man. I'm hoping for Splyce here. I would love to see this series go the distance. You have to think, though, if you're Splyce, where is your mental game at right now? How confident are you in your team going into this game 4? You let your first hard point slip. You just blew another big lead in uplink. You got to set the tone early, and that's what OpTic is not allowing them to do. It was OpTic first with 19 straight points.
And this is what I love to see. Thank you, Scump. Thank you for OpTic team members for screaming at him to pull it out. We've been wanting to see the A-Rad. We've been wanting to see him with an SMG, the greatest SMG player of all time, and he's now starting to pull it out. Expect big things from him. I know he's starting out a little bit slow, though, at 0-3.
Zero on your screen, able to get another pick. They're fortifying the back positions, but 3 members from OpTic are here to challenge in the hard point. Everyone sliding in at once. It's Bance, Madcat, and Jerd in for now. The kill's going to be traded out as Bance picks up his 4th in a streak, and it will be Splyce with the control early on.
Hell of a streak to start the game by Bance. The question is, can he get streaks? He's very close, 25 off, and this is one of those maps when you look at like retaliation as well. He gets the full streaks. That streaks can win you a game when it comes down to the stretch. If you're ending at a hard point like Drill that you can just nuke out, he's gonna have those in his back pocket, and that's terrifying to give up to him so early.
There's a few people out there in the Call of Duty world who have never earned a bombardment. Bance did it against the world's best team, and he did it in your first 2 minutes of this game. Look for this man to light things up. He's already at 7-4, Madcat at 6-5. But remember, in game 1, it was Bance off to an 8-3 start before disappearing in the middle of the game. He has to stay hot this entire time.
Well, we'll stick on board with Scumpy as the new hard point's gonna pop in Hangar. He's gonna be holding the back spot, also watching the push. He tries to get away from that, but it's a nice tag team coming through from Madcat and crew as they find a couple. Now, pressure on Krim, able to find 2 before falling. The last man up, though, is gonna be Jordan. He's able to give them the spawn in the back. You see that's gonna be Madcat and Bance in the minimap. Spawning back Hangar, that's exactly what you needed, but you still have Formal somehow disrupting inside.
You can get all the spawns, Maven, but if you don't get the kills, you're just gonna see a new one, and that is exactly what Splyce found themselves doing. They're spawning all the way across the map. 26 points remained here in the Hangar for OpTic Gaming to mop up. There's only gonna be 1 push here. Jerd on the flank. 3 players trying to hit from the front. So far it's successful, but Formal is gonna slow him down. Splyce will get in. They'll pick up the final 15 seconds. That was a must-win fight.
Yeah, I wasn't sure that I agreed with another attack of that, just maybe rotate and set up for Drill, but they win it so cleanly, and they get a nice spawn at the bottom of the map to set up for Drill. So this is actually a perfect transition. The question is, can they hold it down? The answer is a quick and heavy no. Krim and Formal and Scump, everybody really getting involved to break into Drill. So the early setup, not gonna get it done here. And now the streaks, though, coming in.
Fantastic hold there from OpTic Gaming. It was getting dangerous. Instead, OpTic able to build up basically a 30-point lead once again. Splyce is gonna be challenging inside the Drill hard point. On the other side of this Drill, it's going to be Scump taken out by Bance. Krim 6, though, there to support. 3 players challenging. Bance is going to be mopped up. Zero is going to fall as well. The spawn's too far away to continue to contest. OpTic back in control.
And that's a dream scenario from OpTic. You put enough pressure on early and get enough of a lead that Bance feels he needs to use the bombardment this early in the game. He can't save it for a late clutch moment. And not only does he use it, you get a break for, what, 5 to 10 seconds? OpTic Gaming takes control right back. So you basically get a free bombardment. It didn't do anything.
I'm looking at the numbers so far in this game, and of course the numbers don't tell the whole story. You don't always see how much assisting work is happening in this one, but Jerd just 7-9. He was their rock star in game 1. I'm looking for him to bounce back here as this game continues. It's still pretty tight within about 30 points here. It could go either way, but you cannot allow OpTic to build up a lead. We've seen that they're able to close out games strong.
They absolutely can. It reminds you of the game 1. Splyce doing just enough to hang around. but they weren't able to take over. I know we saw a lot of lead changes over the final couple moments, but ultimately it was OpTic Gaming, and that's what's so tough. It's tough to bury OpTic, right? You can beat them in some maps, you can look like the better team at times, but to actually finish them and close the deal, one of the hardest things to do in Call of Duty.
There's always that fist that just pounds its way through the earth, back into the sky as OpTic will re-emerge. 119 to 106, Crim6, 17 and 11 has been playing incredible. 41 seconds to go with the kills as well. He's been doing it all, and he's got his score streaks in hand. Scarab's going to be scouting out. He's now seen 3 players, injuring 1. He set himself up for success here.
Yeah, but it zones him out, at least gives him a little bit extra time. His teammates get the opportunity to get set up a little bit better, but as Zero comes in over the top, Bance's streak kills Zero, but he also finds 1. It's enough for them to get the break they need. Now with 40 seconds left, we should see yet another lead change. You have really one good opportunity to break this if you're OpTic Gaming, and you got to think about getting set up again. There's 30 seconds now. They're trying to look for the full team push, but you already lost Crim6. Formal comes to the edge. He drops. Scump and Karma find some kills.
Oh, no.
Karma actually finds a couple, and you get the break. I thought that was going to go the other way for sure.
That was a 2v4 fight, basically.
Yeah.
You had the third guy in at the very end for OpTic Gaming, but that was all Karma getting in there, hitting the melee. Crim6 is the first player in the lobby to reach 20 kills. Keep your eyes on the captain here for OpTic Gaming, the former in-game leader of that role, now going to formal, but Crim6, this man can do it all.
All right, so Splyce now. They've got set up and Hangar, but there's one player in the back. That's going to be Formal, the number 2 on the minimap, who's in a position here to collapse with his teammates. He actually just lost a gunfight from Madcat in the back. His teammates drop in the front, and so far, so good. Look at how far the spawn is coming in for OpTic at the bottom left of the map. You're definitely going to have a lead change here. Splyce will be back in control.
Big challenge down low for Madcat. He's going to lose that first fight to Formal. Jerd continuing to score, but here comes the pitch. OpTic with a 4-man push, just 2 defenders here. Jerd will fall. Zero is down as well. Look how far Bance and Madcat are now spawning out. OpTic once again taking control with 25 points still to go.
Yeah, Splyce had control for all of about 2 seconds there before OpTic regains the lead. 15 seconds now left in Hangar. It's a bloodbath. All 8 players just bashing heads inside. It's 4 down for Splyce. Clean sweep for OpTic Gaming.
Take a team nap, boys. This is all OpTic. Mopping up the Hangar. The rotation is going down at the bottom half of your map. Scump, the key flanker here. Now that he wins this fight in the middle, Splyce has to think about the flank. Scump not able to get in there in time. Madcat gets to him just at the right moment, and it is Splyce back in position to score at the drill. OpTic is spawning out there at the Hangar. Splyce with a great setup. They could retake the lead right now.
Here comes the push. The sneaky position for Madcat, though, finds 1. His teammates back him up, and everybody falling. That's 4 evaporating for OpTic, and it's Splyce still holding control. They're back in front. EU's finest, getting it down, done the stretch. We're just 25 seconds left here.
Karma and Scump shut down this time. Crim6 will fall as well. Formal last one up, trying to just contest for a moment, but he has to wait for reinforcements, and there is Zero on the flank, hunting for the new respawning players for OpTic Gaming. Madcat continues to score here for Splyce. They build up a 26-point lead, and as this drill closes out, OpTic is going to make this a 20-point game with 3:28 left on the clock.
And this is a hard point that typically would be hard to hold at the top bridge and mid-map, but OpTic, a team that we've actually seen rack up a ton of time here just with the individual gun skill. You see camo available for both sides. OpTic set up in the middle. That's going to be a couple dropping. It's a 2-piece from Bance, and as they push out, a couple tagged up, but they're soaring in. Not able to snap. It's Bance. He finds the 3 entry kills and gets the break.
Scump trying to get an angle. Splyce now 35 points away from victory here. Scump's going to stop him for scoring, but Zero too strong. The 3-piece there is going to secure the hill. It's going to come down to payloads here in our last 2 to 3 hard points. Splyce still has 20 points to go here on the bridge. OpTic is forced to contest.
They're contesting for now. With just under 15 seconds left to go, we're absolutely seeing another hard point. Now comes the push through. They're trying to wrap back. They have Centurion to set up here at Turbine as well. This is probably where Splyce can close the game. They just need to win one true battle, and that'll be all she wrote. You see kills coming in from either side, but it's Madcat indoors that's getting it done. So many clutch kills throughout. Can't get the last, though. Formal has to go huge. 240 for Splyce. They have one last opportunity. Nades in. There's a camo inside. They can't get it done. Time ticking away. Karma has blasting it in. He gets in at 249 behind a couple of players. Can he find both kills? Can't get the break in the final tick. Should be there, but Crim6 is just barely still alive. It's done.
And there is your final kill. Massive performance from Splyce. It's the opposite of game one. The second half comeback from our European squad. And to close things out, it was 0 on a 7 streak, sealing the deal.
Honestly, the biggest thing I think for me though, I thought OpTic had the potential to close it out and drill, or at least make a very strong force there. They're gonna be, oh sorry, not drill, at mid-bridge. Bance with those 3 kills to get the entry and break that open. They really got the rest of the remaining time. Those 3 kills, I know there are a lot of moments over the course of the game that are big, but down the stretch, that was the hugest bit for me. Bance just going man mode there and breaking in.
If you were an OpTic fan on day one, you were happy with the results, but you're probably bored by the games. They're all pretty one-sided. Day two, it got tense against Luminosity last night, but this is the furthest I've seen any team take OpTic Gaming since Atlanta. Splyce is taking them the distance, and if you watch game number 2, you know they are fully capable of sending OpTic to the losers bracket right now.
They gave OpTic Gaming their first S&D loss here. Can they give them their second, Chris? This has been one hell of a series. I want to take a look at some of the stats from this game 4, see where most of the damage was done, who were the highlight players. And look at that at bridge. And that goes to that final bridge hardpoint where they got in the final 30 seconds or so. 94 to 36 advantage. Bance makes the play. That was incredible.
I was impressed by both teams, able to break the turbine setup, able to break the hangar setups. It seems once you had a team that looked like they were going to get a full 60, the other one was just clutching up. That was a back and forth battle from the very beginning. These two teams more evenly matched than I think anyone expected, especially us casters.
Yeah, couldn't agree more, man. This has been amazing stuff, and it's going to be throwback hardpoint for the final game 5. It is Championship Sunday of CWL Dallas. Search and Destroy up next.
North America, Europe, as well as APAC. Nobody can stop this man. 30 seconds left and Gunless gets through. He gets 3 kills. Can he win it? Oh, it barely.
Are you going to live through this one?
I am.
What a ridiculous crowd we have here in Texas. Ladies and gentlemen, are you enjoying this series? We gotta hear it, Maven. Who out there are cheering for the underdogs? Where are the Splyce fans at?
Apparently they're in Europe. But now on the other side of this, the North American gods that are OpTic Gaming. Who's looking for OpTic Gaming to take this game 5?
We got our crowd on their feet. They are cheering on the green wall. Will OpTic be able to close this one out? Or is it Splyce showcasing their S&D prowess? Will they be able to send OpTic Gaming to the losers bracket for only the second time, basically, for this career team, going all the way back to AW in a winners bracket semifinal?
And on the opposite side, what more can you say about Bance, man? There have been, just a few top 3 finishes ever on American soil for a European team. Bance now potential to be part of the last 2. You saw him do it at Champs last year. This is his team, buddy, and he's looking to do it again with a win now over OpTic.
This man is absolutely capable. We saw it just a few months ago back in California, but this is a totally different game. This would be a massive accomplishment in Infinite Warfare. A win here guarantees them top 3. And one more time, to hit the stat that we talked about yesterday, OpTic Gaming going all the way back to the nade shot days, 31-1 when it comes to matches in the winners bracket after round 1.
And we're basically going back to AW when kind of Formal and Crim came in. When that team formed, they have been so good. They do not lose when they get to winners round 2. Now, a chance it'll happen, but here we go, baby. Game 5, and we're off to the races.
Search and destroy, and we got the big boy toy. It's Formal with the sniper rifle.
I love the big boy toy. All right, he's looking for it. He's got one there. behind the train, trying to get vision on, but look at the aggressive push you have coming in. For all the yellow arrows, they just want to push through and find kills. If they push towards Formal, it's going to be a difficult play here with the sniper rifle. It's going to be Vance, though, finding the kill first. Second up is Mad Cat. Mad Cat with 2. Crim6 now all by him, his lonesome, trying to pull off the 1v3.
Splyce was on the attack, and they didn't even think about putting that bomb down. Instead, they brought the fight to OpTic Gaming. It shows they've been watching OpTic's footage. They knew where Formal was going to be positioned. They knew where they shouldn't challenge. Instead, they go to the middle of the map. They pick up the first 3 kills, and it's all Splyce in round number 1.
Well, you saw the definition of what Infinite Warfare S&D can be. You know, if you're a team and the 4 of you are going to play aggressive and hit together, if you trade effectively like Mad Cat was able to do there, you are going to win rounds. Splyce gets the first behind a big performance from Mad Cat. Can they keep it going? And on the other side, can Scump and Crim react?
Remember back to retaliation, OpTic fell behind way too far early on. It was 4-2. They have to avoid that situation. You have to stay going back-to-back rounds here with Splyce. It's 1-0, OpTic trying to tie it up, and they have the first 3 kills. Karma's gonna fall before that bomb gets down, though, so Mad Cat has a chance. As I say it, he's gonna be pinned. OpTic will tie this one up.
I mean, pretty similar offensive rounds, right? In the sense that you get aggressive pushes over top mid from both teams. They get the first opening couple of picks, and you find it was Crim in a 1 versus 3, a tough spot, then Mad Cat in a 1 versus 3 on the other side. Giving them a bit of a dose of their own medicine there, Chris.
Absolutely. You see Mad Cat looking over at his teammates, talking over the game plan with Zero and Jerd. And we'll see where they decide to go with this bomb. They're going for a B hit. They're going to avoid the bridge over at A. Instead, they're going to try and catch OpTic off guard. And Scumpy, he accidentally took out Formal there with the flechette grenade.
Hey, buddy, you're one of my best friends. Eat this grenade. As the opening kill comes through, Formal down. Now they're down 2 men, 4 versus 2 advantage here for Splyce. They're looking good to close out their second round unless Karma can get something done. Well, he just jumped through a player. That's going to result in his death. And it's now another 1v3 for Crim. So 2 of their defensive rounds have found Crim in a nearly impossible spot. I speak too early.
Not impossible, but extremely unlikely now. 20 seconds left to work with. Crim has to get that bomb with 7.5 on the clock. Splyce is just trying to play ring around the rosy, and it's going to pay off. Vance baits him out for the final kill.
I thought for a second, I wasn't looking at the minimap, I thought Jerd was in barn, and he had a chance here to get this kill and maybe snap, but he was dead to rights regardless. Jerd doing a good job there with the tag team. Crim drops, and he's been, it's got to be a frustrating game for Crim thus far. He's just been in real tough spots at the end of games.
You saw the excellent maneuvers there from Jerd. The movement perfect, jumping through silo, able to respond so quickly to get that kill on Crim6. This man was incredible on retaliation, already 3-2. Vance with the E-Rad is going to open things up with a nice kill.
You saw exactly how the team kill came in, because that Nate Scump just threw basic. That must have grazed Formal's elbow there as it goes through the edge, but now it's going to be a 1v2. Crim again in a tough spot, keeps finding himself the last one alive. I need to pay a little bit more attention to see if this is him maybe not close enough to his teammates, not getting involved in the action to trade effectively.
No, this is what OpTic does, though. They have Crim normally as the guy who watches the team's flank. The other 3 look forward, and Crim6 is now going to find himself with Splyce never challenging on a flank. Instead, they're hitting as a team. Crim's just left out of the party, and he's going to be executed once again.
That's what's tough then. It's going to keep becoming these 4v3s then. So do you need to mix something up so you can trade a little bit more effectively if you're OpTic Gaming? Clearly, we're seeing a pattern here with Crim being isolated by himself late in rounds. And I mean, it's just too much to ask. Do you hope Crim, Mr. Game 5, is able to clutch a couple of these? Yes, but you can't really expect it, right?
OpTic Gaming needs to find an answer in search and destroy. They're being put to the test. Europe's best has been swinging all series long. Can they get the knockout blow here?
Pushing forward is Jerd. He gets cut down by Formal. They're wrapping the edge. Scump is there. Scump, Formal, Scump. Everybody cut down, obliterated in a 15-second round, and the crowd is getting hyped.
Back against the ropes, they come out swinging with a gut punch. Here it is, OpTic Gaming right away to the body, 1, 2, 3, drops him in the middle of the map. Everyone swarming in, and I have a feeling that's the way the rest of this game is going to play out. Splyce is going to try and force OpTic to the perimeter of the map, but when you look at OpTic Gaming, they got to keep hitting together. It worked out incredibly well in round 5. Will they be able to do it once again here in round 6?
That's something we knocked them for a lot last year in their search and destroy. They played hesitant. They wouldn't couldn't hit it just hard as a team at times. That's when they're at their best, and you saw the way they can bully teams in that last round. And this time it's Scump watching the flank, able to pick up one kill. There's a second there, can't get to the edge. So good job by Zero, making sure he's in position to trade that kill.
There is a Scarab out on the map, though. They have a scout for Splyce, and he is going to find player number 5.
Zero.
6 upstairs. Krim survives the blast, though, so it's now a 2-on-3. Krim and Formal going up against Zero, Mad Cat, and Jerd, and Krim's going to make this a 2-on-2.
2-on-2 with 20 seconds remaining on the clock. You're just trying to defend if you're Krim. They're coming from both sides. He's tagged up, somehow staying alive. Now the only one to make a play. 14 seconds remaining. He's got to make a play. You know that one's going to be on it with a little bit of time. He gets the kill! He gets the kill!
Even though Krim 6 dies, he bought the team time. There is not enough time on the clock to get the defuse, and this is OpTic tying up our game 5. OpTic J and the rest of the crew getting fired up in our front row.
Is that 4 rounds now? Krim's been in a tough spot. There, man, he at least has a bit of an advantage in the sense that the bomb is down. He just has to find that one kill before he gets dropped. That is veteran stuff. Sick play.
And Jerd is so frustrated right now. He was 1 bullet away from saving Mad Cat in that situation. Krim 6 showing why he has been the winningest player of all time in Call of Duty. Ridiculous plays to make this a tied game. We're in round 7. It's Splyce back on the attack. Bombs in the hand of Zero, and look for the payloads to start coming in. You got an FTL jump for Jerd. Zero has not been able to get camo, but he's just 2 kills away now.
Zero, will he be able to build towards it? That's a big early kill. You take out Zero, you make sure he can't build towards that camo at all after he got 2 kills in the previous round. Mad Cat getting pushed, able to gun Formal, not easy to do. Drop shot, roll! There's a second. The third, though, not able to do it. Advance drops as well. OpTic edges Splyce yet again.
I gotta kind of question Mad Cat here. He picks up the first 2 and he comes flying out, gets picked out of the air. It seems Splyce kind of panicked there, a little bit too much momentum in favor of Mad Cat, and it comes back to cost him. This is where the game is starting to spiral out of control. You gotta just take a deep breath. Get the team back together. Why were we winning in the early rounds? Let's go back to that strategy.
Well, let's see if they can get it done, Chris. It's going to be offense now for OpTic Gaming. Got FTL jump available for Formal. They're applying big pressure here to the bike path. This tension continues to build, Chris.
Let's go OpTic is the only thing you'll hear if you're out front in the venue. The chant is loud. The fans getting behind America's favorite team. The bomb is going to be planted successfully, but karma will be executed. So man advantage to Splyce here.
That's what's so difficult at times, to get that plant and actually get away with your life. It was Vance in the corner, but it's Scump forward, gets 2, Zero and Mad Cat both cut down. There's one more at the end. There's 3. He just needs Jerd now for the ace. He's wrapping the back. Give me all the kills.
Look at the energy in this room right now. Scumpy with the ace, baby. All 4 kills after losing karma. He punishes 2 players, finds the 3rd, and perfect shots to clean them all up. Splyce put into body bags.
God, that is nasty stuff from Scump, making the play. They've got a big edge now in game 5. Winner moving on to your top 3 and winners bracket final. It's going to be a top B hit for the side of Splyce as they're looking to take it.
OpTic Gaming is on match point. A win this round sends them to face off against FaZe in our winners bracket finals. Splyce needs to win 3 straight. They have the bomb down. OpTic trying to break in. Jerd is going to pick up Krim 6 first. Vance will find Scump. FTL jump has been used, and it's all Splyce forcing round 10.
Splyce gets it done. They're staying in it. They're locked in. They're focused. They're not letting this crowd get to them. You know, if you had to put a roster together in EU that had a mix of veteran and young players, so you know the leadership is there in these scary moments, this is perfect, man. Jerd and Mad Cat have seen it all. Literally, they've been around for so long. This crowd's not going to faze them, man.
There's a look at the Irishman, Jerd, alongside Mad Cat, 2 of the biggest names in competitive Call of Duty history. They have been playing this game forever. Will they find success against OpTic Gaming here in IW? Bance on your screen has switched over to the E-Red. He's leading the charge. They're going to run straight at Scump.
He ran to use his reactive armor and got nothing. He gets punished. It's a preemptive pop and it turns into nothing. And OpTic Gaming now closing the door on Splyce. 2 more kills is all they need, and this one's in the books.
Just Mad Cat and Zero. Can they be heroes for their squad? All 4 members of OpTic Gaming, they're roaming like raptors right now. No one is going to be able to pick up an easy flank. OpTic all set up as a squad. Will they be able to force out these final 2 kills? Splyce trying to slow down the action, but they are running out of time, Maven.
The only thing you have to use on OpTic is the FTL jump. That's the one positive you kind of have for Splyce, but they have the 2-man advantage. This is going to be so tough to break. The push now coming in. The 1 kill comes through, but they end up dropping, not able to find in the back. Now he's got 3 to deal with, tries to get to the edge. He's tagged up. They're flying at him, and that is it. OpTic Gaming has taken it.
The king never left. Scumpy catching fire, finds an ace. OpTic Gaming, after being down big early on in another Game 5, comes storming back, and they will be headed to another Winners Bracket Finals.
Scump, man, on another level this weekend, and this series puts him at the top of the MVP conversation for CWL Dallas. What a beautiful ace. What a beautiful series there. 51 in Game 1. He did it all. The king.
30 kills in game number 3 as well. He was lights out in Respawn, but take a look at your search numbers. Crim 6, the number 1 spot. Karma, the number 3 spot. You gotta look at Zero and Bance, though, in the losers bracket. These 2 players will definitely be threats every S&D until this tournament is over.
And this is why you thought it could come down to the search and destroys, right? They'd been so back and forth, but we gotta look at some of the highlights from this. Scump specifically had some insane plays.
Absolutely, that ace in the second half of the game, one of the dirtiest plays we have seen this weekend. Expect to see it in your top 5. Maven, I have to say, every event keeps getting better and better, but this is some of the best Call of Duty we have ever witnessed.
And what's beautiful about it is it's not just the battle of the North American Titans, right? Splyce proving they can hang with the best, but when speaking of the best, right now, it's Scump, and you've got Jack on the floor with him.
It's only right we grab the king himself, Scump. OpTic Gaming just moved on to another Winners Bracket Final. Give it up for him, crowd. Before we got here on camera, Seth, you said the hype in here is insane right now. I want to first talk about the road for OpTic Gaming to this point this year. The bumpy start in Infinite Warfare. You guys have made some changes. You look electric right now. What did you say to the team? What was the number 1 thing you guys needed to work on to make this possible?
Honestly, right now, we played a lot of scrims, played all the respawns and stuff. Our search is looking really good, which is a very, very good thing, because if we're winning searches, it's very hard for a team to take 2 respawns off us. But I think they're playing well. I think what we have to work on, we're getting a little frantic. We're not playing calm, cool, and collected like we were in ESWC when we were just rolling through people. So I think we just need to slow things down a little bit and just try and focus up more.
You still have things to work on. Great to hear. Obviously, always got to keep yourself humble. Moving forward, though, you have another matchup again versus FaZe Clan. They're looking great this weekend as well. Do you get excited whenever you face these guys? You've got friends on the other team. What are your thought process going into that match?
I got a lot of friends in the community, a lot of good guys in here. Thought process, I mean, it's FaZe. Big rivalry, OG and FaZe has always been one of the big ones. So whenever we go into that, it's an animosity inside the game, but outside of it, we're all very good friends. But yeah, we're going to still try to take them out, so.
Now, Seth, walk me through that ace there, because that ace, everyone in the room got on their feet. You got into the camera's face. What was going in your mind?
Honestly, it was a lot of communication. It was strictly based off communication. First guy, it was Mad Cat. He was turning lemon for some reason, gave up bomb. Second guy, Damon, was like, he's close right, and I was like, screw it, I'm hitting him. And then another guy fell in front of me in front of bomb, absolute one shot, and then Jared, we team shotted him. So It was a team ace, but I got all the kills, so.
There you go, yes. A team ace, but he did everything to win that round. Scump making a case for the Control Freak MVP later on today. We'll have to find out if he can get it. For now, though, we're going to go to a quick break, and when we come back, the CWL Dallas Open Championship Sunday continues.